So I heard this story, Jay Leno was in the supermarket shopping recently, and he was picking up a few things, he was on the express line, and he was watching the other customers as they were being checked out. And the cashier was taking the groceries, scanning them, throwing them in the bag, and then she said, you know, that'll be $18.12, and not really saying much of anything else. So when it was Jay's turn, he walked up to the cashier, and he said to her, "Would it kill you to say thank you?" And she looked at him without batting an eyelash and said, "It's printed on the receipt." Now that is a form, that actually is a form of customer service. It's not quite the kind of customer service that we would want to provide to our customers, but here's the thing. Employees are providing that kind of service right now to your customers. Yes? Maybe. Would you know? Who's a business owner in the room? Oh, a lot of you. Who's got employees working for you? A lot of you have employees. So when you're the business owner, you got into business and you knew that the customer was king. Yes? It's all about the customer. I'll do whatever it takes to get the customer, to keep the customer. I'll come in early, I'll stay late, I'll go out of my way, I'll do extra just because I know how important you are to my business. That's what I like to call having an owner mentality. Yes? Now, for those of you that have employees working for you, do you think your employees have that same owner mentality? We'd like to think they do, right? But how would we know? We might know that they don't have that owner mentality by them looking at their clock and saying, "Oh, 5 to 9, I don't start yet. No, I'm not going to answer that ringing phone because I'm not on the payroll." Or they might see a long line and say, "Yeah, I'm going on my break right now. I gotta go," right? Those people have what I like to call a renter mentality, right? Think about the last time you rented a car. Did you ever take it to the car wash?
No.
Why not?
It's not mine.
It's not yours. You don't really care, right? But when it's your car, you take it to the car wash, you get oil changes, you park it 100 miles away when it's brand new because you don't want anything to happen to it. You treat it really well. And so when you're an owner of a company, you treat your customers really well because you know that without them, you have no business. But a lot of us have renters working, have renters working for us. And when we have renters working for us, they potentially could be hurting our business. One of the things that I do in my business is I make test calls into companies. And I pretend to be a customer, and I see what kind of service I would get. Now, I had an opportunity to make some test calls into your businesses. Is anybody worried that I called your company? You're not worried? Okay. Here's what happened when I made a phone call. Are there any limousine companies in this room? Okay. Here's what happened when I made a test call into a company. They answered the phone like this. "Limousines!" And I said, "I'm sorry, I have the wrong number." And I hung up the telephone, right? Now, when I make these test calls, I could count on one finger how many calls I've made where I got wow service. I've probably made about 1,000 test calls in the last couple of years. And what I find is, I'm not getting horrible service where somebody's answering the phone and saying, "Yeah, what do you want?" I'm not getting that. But I'm not getting, "Thank you for calling ABC Limousine Company. This is Randy. How can I help you?" So there's a very big gap in the kind of service that I'm getting when I'm calling perhaps your company or perhaps your competitors' companies, right? So service is often the only differentiator between you and your competition.